Es ist wieder früher Abend und ich habe heute als Gast aus Italien, aus Trieste, einen lieben Freund, Paolo Prossen, der uns ein bisschen was darüber erzählt, wie es in Italien so ist, das Leben. Hallo, Paolo. Servus.
Hello, how are you? Are we live?
We are live right now, yeah, and we're doing this in English because
Good time.
yeah.
Yeah, you say it. You say it.
So I must excuse beforehand because both Paolo and I don't have English as a mother's tongue. Paolo is Italian. Please just greet us in Italian, yeah. We have
A long time ago, I used to speak German, but since I learned English and I worked for British companies and American companies, I started losing it. So ich habe Deutsch gelernt für 8 Jahren. Ich habe alles vergessen. Sorry, guys.
Not quite everything, but
Not quite everything.
Yeah.
But yeah.
A nice buonasera to Trieste.
Yeah. So you lead.
Yes.
You lead
Yes.
the band.
Paolo, yeah, we're knowing each other for a long time. Yeah, I think it's
A long time.
more than 30 years. Yeah, and we're quite at the same age, in the midst of our 50s. And you're leading a bit. Yeah, 6 months. So.
Yep.
Happy birthday from everybody who's listening right now, and everyone who is listening right now.
Well. If I remember well, it's exactly 6 months.
It is
You're
6
months away.
Yeah, I'm a
11th of March and you were 11th of September?
right. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great.
You remembered well. So just a little announcement. Everyone who is just listening on the live stream right now can blend in and chat, because on the live page on Spreaker, the service we are using to broadcast live, there is a chat function, and if you want to ask Paolo some questions, you just can type it in and I will deliver, and if the questions are not accommodating, Paolo will also give us an answer. Yeah. So actually, we're talking now to Trieste, and I've read something in the newspaper this week here in Austria about a doctor from Styria, his origin, and she's working at the hospital in Trieste, and it was not very amusing what she told us in this newspaper. Just how do you feel the corona crisis personally in Italy right now?
Well, Trieste hasn't been touched much. Thank God, because here the healthcare system has been destroyed in the last years. It's still quite good.
Mm-hmm.
But, for example, there is in the center of Trieste an old Austrian hospital,
Mm-hmm.
and that now is the elderly care hospital for the city hall of Trieste and for the municipality of Trieste, and seemingly everybody there has coronavirus. It's all concentrated there, old people.
Mm-hmm.
Yet here, but this is the situation here.
Mm-hmm.
While in the rest of Italy, especially in Lombardy, where I am so lucky not to live anymore.
But you lived there for many years in Milan, I remember.
I lived in Milan for 30 years, and all my contacts are there, or my friends. And for example, my printing company is in Bergamo, and they are exactly in the little town where there are the most deaths.
Yeah.
My printer, he's a young guy, and his grandmother died, his uncle died, his grandmother has coronavirus positive. He's coronavirus positive, and this was just last week.
Oh,
So I am scared of calling him. By the way, I can't call him now because the company will be closed this week, because printing is not a necessary business. So from today, all businesses that are not necessary are closed until the 3rd of April. Let's give examples. Give examples. But anyway, you ask.
No. This is okay. Just tell us, because in Austria we got a closing until Easter Monday.
I'm telling you this because I really hope this won't happen in your country.
Okay, just
But as far as I saw in the last month, we didn't believe it, and it came slowly, 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 and then it's like a skyrocket. And everybody tells, one day they're telling, oh, it's bullshit. It's not going to happen. It's just old guys. And you hear a lot of theories. Like, for example, yesterday I spoke with a German friend, and he said, oh, but we have to stop taking care of elderly people. This is harassment, medical harassment. And I said, look, I have an 87-year-old mother. I moved to Trieste because of her. So I understand your point of view, but it's a Nazi point of view. So just consider that. I'm telling it in a very nice way. But it's a nice Nazi point of view.
May I interrupt at this point, because I've read a clever article today in the Zeit, which is one of the leading German weekly papers, and it was from the ex-boss, former boss from the Swiss television company, and he said, right now what's happening here is bringing democracy into danger, because if you look to Austria, for example, the Conservative and Green Party coalition right now closed everything down, and they showed they can be the tough guys, and somehow I think people also like to see this, and I mean, it is necessary. All the action sets, they are necessary, actually, but I think, power has a certain taste, and after this crisis, how will these politicians find out of this seductive taste of this power that rules everything, that just wipes people off the street? For example, our Minister for Internal Affairs had an interview the other day, and I thought it was much more a victory for him to tell us the numbers of how many people just got sent back home by the police than telling about the figures how many people came out of the hospital healed from corona. It is a little bit different for me.
Look, as you know, also here in Italy, we had for a year or so a populist right-wing interior minister. Internal Affairs Minister, and that he made a big mess, and he went out of the parliament, of the government, and he would like so much to go back, but he's part of the past. This coronavirus crisis wiped away the bullshitters. And in the same time, when yesterday night our prime minister said we're closing down everything, besides supermarkets and newsstands,
pharmacies,
pharmacies, that's all. Plus the industries that have to produce the food, because the food doesn't fall from the sky. So the ones that are now resisting, it's exactly the right-wing people that were hoping a new Mussolini will come.
This is what I thought.
They are pissed off. They are not in power, and they would like to be in power, but they're not. I'm sorry. This is, and all this talk, all this thing we're talking about, it's getting old. Because the world is transforming into something that we cannot see yet. This crisis is putting in front of us a lot of questions, and we don't have the answers because we don't know how we will land on the other side.
Yeah, this is a true thing. So you mentioned your mother before. So you're right in the situation like I have it with my mother. My mother is luckily in back in Vienna, and she's very well able to take care for herself. And she has her social touch points, not touch points in the classic way, but her social connections to bring her shopping things and things like this. But your mother is a special case because your mother needs some help from you.
Well, yeah, she needs care.
Yeah.
She needs Parkinson. So about the 9th, I remember it was the 9th and the 10th of March, I sensed that this was going pretty bad.
Yeah.
And there were only 3 cases here in Trieste, 3 deaths. Now we are at, in the region, we are about 40, 45.
Yeah.
Which is not much, but it's all old people, whatever. But I had meetings with people that had meetings with people that arrived that are sick.
Yeah.
Right now. So
you mean real life meetings? Yeah.
I spoke to my sister and I said, okay, fine. Let's divide the chores. And you live with mom, and you take care of her in house.
Yeah.
And I walk the dog, and I cook, and I bring food, and I do the groceries whenever you can't. And we meet while we walk the dogs.
Yeah.
Which is at the moment the only good reason besides buying groceries that you have to be outside the house, and you can't go around more than 200 meters.
So it is really a lockdown right now in Trieste too. Yeah, so you're not allowed to make.
That, an hour ago, there was a car with a megaphone saying "Stay home."
Really?
If you're
You know what they're doing in Austria? The police is driving through Vienna and playing this shitty Reinhard Fendrich lied, I Am From Austria. It's so strange. Oh my God. They're putting in nationalism even in saving the people. But okay.
There is nothing nationalist. But the funny thing, by the way, you were asking before about borders, closing borders, and the right-wing mania of closing borders. Okay, Slovenia, Austria, and no, France didn't. But Slovenia, Switzerland, and Austria. Not even Switzerland. Okay, the Switzerland case is different. Yeah. Austria and Slovenia closed the borders.
Yeah.
And all the right-wing people are, oh, what? We can't go out. But until a month ago, they were saying, close the borders. We don't want Slovenians and all the Afghans and Pakistanis and people from Syria coming from the border. Now nobody walks.
Is the Italian border closed? Is the Italian border closed right now?
Oh, yes. Yes. And if you go abroad and you try to come back, you have to quarantine for 15 days.
Ooh.
Both ways.
It's the same here.
From a political point of view, it's Schengen that went kaput.
Yeah. So to say, and we will hope that this will work again after the crisis is gone, because this is just all the principles of living in Europe, to be a free citizen of this connection. Yeah. And
if we were intelligent people, we were going to say that Europe is a country with closed borders, by the way, because Ingrid von der Leyen, from der Liar,
from the lion. Yeah. It's not the music. It's not the music. Nah.
She closed the borders, but she made a big balagan. She made a mess. Europe showed its bad side. We thought it was an Italian problem in the beginning, and then they got it bad. Exactly the way we got it during the fashion shows in Milano, which was around 3 days before the big outbreak began. sometimes I work with fashion. I do branding for fashion.
You are an art director. Just telling to our listeners, yeah. So you're working from home for a long time right now. So you're more experienced in this home office doing like others just learning it right now, yeah.
Sometimes